what value would you put on no longer having to take medications? What value would you put on being able to get down on the ground with your grandkids?
How often does somebody need to come in?
How often would you like to go to the gym to actually see changes made?
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Armando Leduc, producer, film actor, and owner of Leduc Entertainment. I've chosen a life off the beaten path and wanted to find others that are doing the same. Spaghetti on the Wall is a show based on all of the years that I've thrown spaghetti on the wall and nurtured what stuck. We will share fun stories, ideas, tips, tricks, and more. Welcome to Spaghetti on the Wall. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Spaghetti on the Wall. Spaghetti. Somebody told me yesterday that I should have different music. Do you like the music? Do you like that song? Music. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
You know, but they were like, it should be like an Italian tune. Like a tarantella.
Upbeat. No, I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. It's just it rocks. I love rock. Billy Beaudreau, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, physical therapist, has a really cool business. Been wanting to get you on the show. I don't know if you know, but for at least 5 months, I've been pursuing you.
Have you?
Yeah, trying to get you. But
I tend to ignore a lot of emails.
I know it because there's so much spam. Mm-hmm. You don't know what's legit. Mm-hmm. Which if you follow me, I'm all about the follow up.
Yep.
Got to follow up.
You have to.
Got to follow up.
You have to stay front of mind with people. Communicate with them as long as what you're sending out there to them is agreeable to them. Mm-hmm. They're not going to delete you. They're not going to unsubscribe.
There you go. I haven't.
The purpose is to help people, right?
And you do that well. Yeah. I'll tell you. Let me tell you this. I'm a really big proponent of using email marketing the correct way. Right? Like if people are like, oh, email's dead, it's probably because you're sending out a newsletter that nobody really cares about. Like nobody cares what's going on in your business. Nobody, I'm sorry, right. Ethan, but nobody cares that, you showed up late to work today. Except for me. I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, who cares about your newsletter? Right. Like, is it going to help that person?
As far as marketing, it's not going to help. It'll be fun for past patients, maybe, or past people that have done business with you in the past.
Right. And even then, it's just like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, give me a tip, give me a trick. How am I going to improve my life? So sorry about putting him on blast, by the way, Ethan. That's Ethan, by the way. Hi, Ethan. I like to give him shit. But you guys do so amazing on your emails, which is why I've been following you and learning more about it. I'm just trying to absorb as much as I can.
Excellent.
And I definitely need to start bringing that in my life. So tell me about how, because what I've seen too is preventative stuff. It's not necessarily like, hey, you're in this situation now and this is what you need to do. It's like, hey.
So physical therapy historically has always been preventative or has always been corrective. Right? Mm-hmm. But why can't it be preventative? You go to the dentist every 6 months to get your teeth cleaned to prevent cavities, to prevent issues from arising. Why can't physical therapy be that same thing?
I agree.
So you go and you get a checkup once every 6 months. You test your muscles, you test your strength, you make sure that you're moving good, you're feeling good. If anything starts breaking down, you catch it before it starts to get bad and creates pain. We do some of that. So I've had a few marathon runners that would come to see me 2, 3, 4 months before their runs. And we make sure that they're not breaking down as they're going through their training.
So you're checking their gait?
Checking their strength, making sure their muscles are working properly, firing on all cylinders. Should I not snap?
Can. Okay. Doesn't matter. I mean, if, let's not bang on them.
I'll try not to bang on it.
But, yeah, so when did you start this business?
Started in 2020. Smack dab center of COVID.
Man. What were you doing before then? I mean, the same thing, obviously.
The same thing, just working with another company. I was a director of clinical operations for another local PT clinic around here. And then thought in my head to start my own company. And then COVID hit, and I had a baby at the same time. And I had 6 weeks at home to sit around and twiddle my fingers. And I said, I'm going to start a company. It's time.
And you put a business plan together?
Put a business plan together, got a loan, reached out, got some help. So I went with a consulting company that's out of Clearwater, Florida, and they taught me everything that I needed to know for marketing and getting the word out. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What kind of business do they have? Same sort of deal?
So it's basically they help physical therapy companies to grow and expand. They
That's
do that
cool.
with physical therapy companies and dentists and veterinarians.
Are you still working with them?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I do a weekly phone call with them.
And so tell me about some of the growth that you've experienced as a result of using their tactics and
It's all
trainings.
been since using their tactics. I started with them 3 months before I ever even opened up my doors. So every marketing tip, trick that I've had is come from them, or it's stuff that I've learned in the past that I've utilized in the past. But the emails that you're talking about that you like so much, that was their idea.
It works.
It works.
It works, right? Like how much business would you say comes from your email marketing?
Not a lot. Not a lot, but I've gotten a few patients off of it.
But it keeps you top of mind. I mean, it's one of
keeps me
those
top
things,
of mind.
branding.
Right.
Versus.
And so maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know if it's more than I think.
Yeah, because it's like a billboard. Some marketing is just brand awareness.
Right.
Some is actually advertising.
Correct.
Right. So,
Right.
and you have to have both, right? So,
Yeah, so we're trying to just build our brand with the emails. We've got a large number of people that are on our email list that we send multiple emails every now and then.
And you guys are on the
Staying
North
on
Shore?
top of mine. Mm-hmm. We're on the North Shore.
Do you guys plan on expanding down here to the South Shore?
Yep. So my vision for comprehensive physical therapy is to have multiple locations. So we'll have multiple locations. We'll be inside of the community. Physical therapy's got to be convenient. You're not going to drive past multiple different PT clinics just to go to the best of the best physical therapy. You might if you're not having success with one, you'll drive past a couple to get to where you can get better outcomes. But for the most part, it needs to be convenient. You're already taking up an hour of your day to be inside the office. If you have to drive for a half hour a day, an hour a day just to get there, now that's 2 to 3 hours a day, 2 to 3 times a week.
What's the difference
That's a
between a
commitment.
personal trainer and a physical therapist?
Personal trainers are going to work on keeping you healthy, getting you active again, getting you moving better. Physical therapists, we deal a lot with injuries. We deal a lot with musculoskeletal issues, breakdown of musculoskeletal issues. I like to tell my personal trainers that, look, you work with them, get them peak condition as well as they can. If they start breaking down, send them to me.
Okay.
Right. Once they get better again, I'll send them right back to you.
So older people come to you guys a lot.
We see, yep.
Because my mom, I'm trying to get her to move more.
Yes.
She's not going to unless somebody, is sort of
Motivates her.
cracking the whip behind. You know what I mean?
I'm not a good cheerleader.
Yeah.
But you have to be sometimes.
Yeah. So how do you get people to move that don't want to move?
You incentivize for them. And what do you want in your life? What do you want out of your life? Right? Are you still wanting to get down on the floor with your grandkids? That's a big one.
Right.
Right? If your mom wants to pick up your 3-year-old, she's going to have to get up and move, get herself stronger, because as soon as she starts getting a little bit older, that's not going to be easy for her to do. And so that's where physical therapy comes in. It's giving her the ability to do that again.
What's your pricing like?
We take all major insurances, so it's copays, deductibles, standard.
That's cool. I like the idea of motivating people that are older. And look, how yes, the grandkids is a big thing for sure. But like, I'm putting my mom on blast. But whatever, she don't watch my show. She just
might be motivating for her.
It
as
like
well.
be, but
Maybe
the thing
she'll
is,
start
like, she
moving
feels like she's past the point. She's getting older. She doesn't feel like like it matters. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing. It's just like, what's the point? Why? So how do you
And the older you get, the harder it's going to be for her to be moving again.
Right.
Right? How do you motivate them? Like I said, you give them something to reach towards. So.
Now, do you think people are more motivated to move towards a positive or move away from the negative?
Research will tell you away from a negative. Away from a negative.
Right.
You want to get out of pain, come to physical therapy.
Right.
Right. You want to be able to pick up your grandkids again? Maybe. Yeah, that'd be nice. You want to get off medication so you're not falling?
Yeah.
I'll go to PT for that.
Yeah.
Right.
So people come in, and you guys usually, deal with medical insurance? What if they don't have
So we do have
that
a cash
type
pay.
of okay.
We have a cash pay incentive, and it's reasonable, $125 a visit. What value would you put on no longer having to take medications? What value would you put on being able to get down on the ground with your grandkids?
How often does somebody need to come in?
How often would you like to go to the gym to actually see changes made?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's a trend in physical therapy to go away from the multiple visit a week way that we've been doing it for years. And it goes towards human nature. People are not motivated to do things by themselves. They need external motivation, and sometimes that comes in the form of getting into a PT visit, right? I can send a patient home with a list of exercises for them to do. They might get to it once or twice a week, maybe. But if I can get them into the clinic, I know for a fact that they're doing everything that they need to do to get themselves better. So 2 to 3 times a week is my typical. What I like to tell my patients, 3 times a week is great. You're going to see major changes in 3 times a week. Twice a week is good. Once a week, unless you're killing it with a home exercise program, you're just going to stay status quo. You're not going to get worse,
Right.
but you're not going to get better.
How do you stay motivated?
I listen to podcasts.
Do you?
Yeah, like yours.
What podcast do you listen to?
Spaghetti on the Wall. Listen to it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No, I listen to, there's some other PT coaches that have their own podcasts. I listen to those quite a bit. Read different books, business books, garbage books.
What garbage books do you read?
I just finished Lincoln Lawyer.
How was it?
It was good. It was
Yeah.
good. The show came out on, I think it was Amazon or something like that. I'm like, I got to read this.
I don't think I ever saw it. I saw it like
The
being out there,
movie-
but I never.
So there's a movie with Michael McConaughey or something.
Yeah.
And then they just made a show recently. And so that turned me on to the books, and I read the books. The books are great. They've been out for about 20 years now.
Are you one of the people that are like, the book is better?
Always.
It is, right? Well, I mean, like, how can you
You can't
compete
put-
with somebody's imagination?
Right. And you can't put all that information into a movie.
Have you seen a movie that was better than the book?
No.
No,
Have you?
I don't think so. I mean, but here's the thing. I don't really read for pleasure. I mean,
Right.
I usually, yes, it's all like business, marketing,
I have to read for pleasure,
self-improvement.
otherwise I get tired of reading. I'm not like a natural, I just want to read.
Right.
And so if I have to read, I'll pick up some business books. I'll read some parenting books. I'll read some Christian books. I'll read some marketing books, some leadership books. But I have to sprinkle in some just fun books.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just get tired of reading.
I don't remember the last time I read a book for fun. Like, because I usually just, I'm watching movies
Right.
for that reason.
Right.
But maybe I will. Maybe I'll pick up a book.
Do it.
What do you recommend?
Do you ever watch Jack Reacher?
Yeah.
That's a good book series.
Is it?
One of
Okay.
my favorite book series.
Yeah, I do
By
like
Lee
Jack
Childs.
Reacher.
Lee Childs. Horribly casted in the movies. Because Jack Reacher, if you ever watch the
Supposed to be big,
if
right?
you ever read the books, he's 6'4", ugly beast of a guy, and they cast a 5'9" Tom Cruise.
It was Tom Cruise. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Come on. I almost didn't watch it because of that. He played it really well, but I almost didn't watch it because of that.
Yeah. But in the series, didn't they find somebody?
They found somebody better. He's still too pretty to be a
Really?
Jack Reacher. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like, you
closer.
gotta look good.
Right. It's TV.
So,
Not
all
everybody
right.
can be on TV.
Maybe I'll get Jack Reacher. Maybe I'll watch that. I do find joy in reading self-improvement books though. Like
Me
I
too.
do. Like I'm reading a book right now. It's called The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet
Okay.
Holmes. Have you read it? Dude, so good.
gonna
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Yeah.
in those books, and my wife's like, "What do you find this riveting?" I'm like, I find it incredibly
Right.
entertaining, and I'm like, I can't put it down.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
Now, I can't really read a book and turn the pages. It's always
oh, it's audible.
audio book.
I
Yeah.
think maybe if I heard like a story-based book,
Right.
that would probably be a lot easier for me
Right.
than it would be to like actually read. But I love to read
Yeah.
like self-improvement books because then I'm also writing
Oh, you
like
make
notes
in the
and
margins and all that.
Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
And then
Nope,
see
it's-
how you implement.
I have 10 minutes, I'll listen to a book. But I don't ever pick up a book and read a book. Maybe right before I go to bed, but then I usually am 2 pages in and I fall asleep.
Yeah. Are you the technician in your business as well?
Mm-hmm. So I'm still working on my business. So I don't treat patients Tuesday mornings. That day, I'm usually just working on the business. And then Fridays I take off as well. That day I'm with my family. And then Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, all day I'm still treating patients.
Is your vision to get to a point where you're just the owner of the business?
Yep.
That's good.
That's the vision. That's why I've spent a lot of money trying to work on becoming the CEO of the business.
How much money would you say should go into, do you have like ratios for like, okay, employees and your marketing spend? And
I do, and this is my coach would probably be upset at me for not being able to just spout these out. Yeah, somewhere around 50% is for your staff. And then if you're growing a business, about 10 to 12% for marketing. If it's a stable business, 6 to 9% for marketing.
So funny, because like my mentor always tells me like 37% employees,
Okay.
25% marketing, 10% operations. And I was like, but he has a $45 million business.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, well, that's what he says.
That's a lot of money.
And he's like, look, Armando, the reason I've been able to grow as quickly is because they have a high tolerance for pain in terms of marketing too. Right. Like their marketing spend is
huge,
like 47%. Like that's how much they're putting into marketing, but they're also just, juggernauts in the Atlanta market. So,
and if you've got the money to put towards marketing, that's how you grow.
Yeah.
I think the thing that people get wrong is they try marketing.
Right.
They try marketing and it didn't work for me, so I'm just going to pull out, and they have less than 1% spend on marketing.
Right. And yeah, you're never going to grow. You're never going to grow.
Right.
Why do you think there is an aversion to marketing?
I don't know. You have to.
Is it because, do you think it's because there's really, like sometimes you don't really see the return on investment? Like, so for instance, like the emails that you're sending out, you're saying, oh, very little come from that, but is it?
Right. Do people really understand what marketing is? Marketing is just getting information out to people.
Right. Because look, when you guys pop up in my email, I see it. I recognize the logo. I see what's happening, and I'm like, okay.
And then when you have an issue, you're like, oh, wait, I got an email this morning about this.
Right.
I'm going to go there.
So you never know, right? And it's continuing. Yep. What do they say? It takes 7 touches, I believe.
That was pre-COVID. Now I think they're saying 13.
Really? Mm-hmm. It's 13 touches now in order to. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, yeah. I mean,
How many times did you email me?
The follow-ups. Right. Yeah, it was definitely. I don't think I didn't want to be annoying.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but we definitely followed up with you, several times. Right. And in different fashions, social media, email, and
I
going,
think you reached out on Instagram, and that's when it finally got my attention.
Yeah, so.
Somebody reached out on Instagram.
I'll tell you, reaching out and following up with emails hasn't been as easy to penetrate as it has been with social media, like Facebook, Messenger. I'll tell you one thing that I'm using right now that has been working like gangbusters. I mean, incredible results. Facebook groups.
Yes.
So I had no idea. I'm a member of I think 30 different videography groups, right? And I've just been posting in there just my successes and stories, right? And I posted something the other day just on some of the deals that I've closed, and it was 300 people.
Yeah.
Hey man. Can you tell me about this? Can you tell me? And I was like,
awesome.
Oh, wow. So I had to get with my email person. I was like, hey, I can't answer all these people.
Right.
So can you create a landing page?
Which makes it tough because that goes towards Facebook algorithms. The groups show up on your newsfeed a whole lot more than you just posting something.
They definitely do. Yeah.
But then you got to abide by the group rules. There's a lot of community groups up on the North Shore. And so that's one of the things my wife does is she'll make a post every Monday on the Facebook groups just to get in front of more people.
You really do. Works. Yeah. Those
Definitely
Facebook groups, if you guys are not using Facebook groups for your business, highly recommend you do that.
Facebook mom groups.
Yeah.
The moms, they make the decisions.
They do make the decisions. They definitely do.
They
definitely do. The moms make Ethan, when you get married, are you going to get married? Yeah, you think so? Yeah, they'll start making the decisions for you, which is kind of cool. I kind of love that. So I have 2 businesses and I'm making decisions all day.
Right.
But when it comes to the household, I make no decisions. I have 0 decisions.
My wife makes most of the decisions.
Yeah,
she runs stuff by me. But she's in it all day, every day. She knows a whole lot more than me than I'll ever know.
100%. Yeah.
About most things in life.
I'll give my opinion here and there.
Right.
And most of the time it's like, how about you shut up? And I'm like, yep, you're right.
I can't say that. Can't say that to her.
Yeah. No, she to me.
Oh, she says that
she
to
me,
you.
not me to her. Yeah, no, she to me. Yeah.
Bold.
I'll be like, hey, honey, what do you think of? And she's like, yeah, I think you should probably stop thinking. And I was like, oh, okay.
Right. And I think my wife likes to hear my opinion. Whether or not she uses it or not.
I'll have to find out whether or not my wife loves my opinions or not, because I'm super opinionated. You know what I mean? So I don't,
Getting.
I think it's because I make so many decisions. I am always in that mode that I have to pull back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like having to pull back, which, you know what I will say is probably not a good thing now that the baby is getting older, because
she's going to need help.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the enforcer. And I'm having trouble being that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, now this ends. You know what I mean?
Lay
like
down the law.
I'm laying down the law. Which I do when I'm like, hey, time out now. And go over here and hang out. You know what I mean? We're not gonna entertain this show that you've got going on. Right. That's it. And then she usually, relaxes. But you read parenting books. What do you think?
So kids are tough. The biggest thing in the world to them is what they're throwing a temper tantrum about. And so if you learn to recognize that the biggest thing in the world to them is what they're throwing a temper tantrum about, imagine what the biggest thing in the world to you would be if your companies fell apart. Right. That's their temper tantrum that they're having right now. So it's the biggest thing on their... The biggest, worst thing in the world is that they can't have that toy or they can't have that candy.
Or they have to go to the bed right now.
Correct. And so if you view it from their mindset, you're like, oh, okay, I can be a little bit more graceful with you. A little bit more lenient. Let's try to value your opinion while also saying, you know what, you really do need to go to bed. Right. I hear what you're saying, but it's bedtime. Right. And so then that's the biggest thing that I've learned as a father is, okay, you can't just be this rigid enforcer, because it's life or death to them whether or not they get that piece of candy at the grocery store. Right. In their mind. Right. Which is why they throw such a temper tantrum.
So how do you balance between letting them know that you can't, look, here at home, it's going to be a lot easier. But when you go out in that real world and you're really like up against, it's ruthless out there. How do you prepare them for that?
I don't know. Mine are still young.
Yeah, I know. Mine, it's 3 years old. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and when I'm like,
comment below how you prepare for that.
Yeah, like please. I would love to know, because it's just like, I want to be encouraging. So that I'm not breaking spirit. Right. You know what I mean? But like, I do want them to be resilient. Yes. I do want her to understand that she's not. It's going to be hard sometimes. Sometimes things aren't going to be like most of the time. It's going to be hard. Right. Like it's going to suck. So
it's an uphill battle all the time.
Yeah, and so you've got to work. Like I can't. No, I'm not going to get up from my chair to go and pick up your doll that's right in front of you. Like, what are you talking about? But my wife will do it. Yeah. My wife will do it, and I'm like, this is not good. We can't do that. Our house
it's a disaster. And you balance the arguments with is it really worth arguing over?
Right. Yeah. No, some days you have the energy to it, all right, we're going to do a lesson.
I'm just going to clean all this up because it'll take me a lot of yelling, a lot of getting mad, getting angry to get you to clean it up. I'll just do it.
Yeah.
And you balance those arguments. You pick and choose your battles.
Yeah, I'm trying to teach her to clean up, but she just, you do it. I'm like, I do it. What? Right. Where's your mother?
I guess you got to make it fun.
Where is your? Yes.
You got to make it fun.
That's a good idea. Right. Put on some music. All right, time to clean up.
Right.
She does like the mopping and the sweeping. They do love that.
Yep. My 6-year-old, he got a vacuum cleaner and a trash can one year for Christmas because he just loved trash cans when he was 2.
That's cool.
So he's throwing everything away. So they got him a trash can for Christmas from his aunt.
Did he love it?
Yeah. And then we got him a toy vacuum cleaner. It's like a Dyson vacuum cleaner with the ball on the bottom and everything. And he was, anytime we'd be vacuuming the house, he's vacuuming right behind us.
Oh, that's cool. I think that across the board is probably a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Like when we're on a shoot, we're trying to make it fun for the client. You know, when you're on, you know, when you're doing physical therapy, I'm sure you're how are you making it fun for them?
By not being boring, I hope. Because they're coming in, they're already in a miserable state sometimes.
Right.
Like pain is miserable. That's pain and suffering. You're
Sucks.
suffering,
Yeah.
right? So you quickly have to turn that suffering into, okay, here's why you're in pain, and you can answer questions for them. They're no longer suffering. Now they're just in pain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's how we're going to make it better. And then you just keep things upbeat. You keep things light.
Can you give me some examples and some stories of people that you've helped rehabilitate?
Trying to think of a good one. So I just got a text message from a patient of mine. Her and her family, and I've actually thought about posting this on social media. Her and her family just went on vacation. I think they're hiking somewhere. I'm not 100% sure where they're at. But she texted me. She came in about a month ago. She's been having some pain in her foot, and she was not looking forward to this trip because her foot has been hurting so bad. Anytime she does a lot of walking, her foot pain increases more and more and more. So she came in for just one visit. We did some dry needling, which is a manual therapy technique where we're using tiny little acupuncture needles to loosen up muscles. We did some of that. We stretched out some muscles. We gave her some exercise to work on stretching at home. She texted me the other day that she's a week into her vacation and she's completely pain-free. She's been walking more. She's been enjoying herself, and she hasn't had to think about her feet at all. And she's never had a vacation like that.
And you dry needle like into
the muscles.
Into the foot. Talk to me about plantar fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis. I heard you've got some of that going on.
I do. How do you know?
You've got people that talk.
Do you? Yeah.
So plantar fasciitis it's typically just an irritation on the bottom of your foot.
Right.
Stretch your calf muscles.
Stretch my calf muscle?
Your calf muscles. Stretch.
All the time.
All the time. Up to 10 minutes a day, right before you go to bed and then right before you wake up.
Yeah, it hurts super
Yep.
bad in the morning.
First step down in the morning, it's like walking on a sharp nail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the right foot now is gone.
Good.
Like it's gone away, but the left one still.
How long have you had it for?
Oh man, months.
Yeah. It's time to get some therapy on it. Get some therapy.
Like go to physical therapy. Mm-hmm. Go to comprehensive physical therapy.
Come up and visit me up on the North Shore. We'll take care of you.
And what would you guys do?
I don't know yet. I'd have to take a look at everything, see what's breaking down. By the time you get to me, it's, okay, what is not working properly? Let's see what we can do to fix it so that it is working properly. What's tight, what's weak, what's not moving the way it's supposed to be. Correct that.
Because I just rolled that ankle too.
Fun.
Yeah. So I was wearing a boot, but now I'm wearing like
I see you're wearing the brace. Getting the ankle moving again, getting it as strong as it needs to be. That's your first place to start.
Yeah. I was using one of those bands.
Coming out of a boot. Coming out of a boot, your calf muscles, your ankle's going to tighten up a whole lot more. And usually with plantar fasciitis, if you can get that ankle moving the way it's supposed to, the bottom of the foot will hurt much less.
Okay.
Start there.
So y'all deal with it all.
All of it.
Back pain, neck pain.
From headache to foot pain, back pain. We see a lot of lower back pain. That's probably our biggest complaint is lower back pain.
How are people getting that?
Life, sitting.
Not sitting properly?
Not necessarily not sitting, probably just sitting in general. Our
and not
bodies
moving
were
enough.
not meant to be sitting all day long every day. And yet that's what we're doing more and more and more. So just by sitting, everything is tightening up on this front side, right? Our hips are tightening up. So then when you go to stand up, well, now everything's so tight on the front that it's pulling on the back.
That's why you need to do the upward, downward dogs and all of that?
Yeah. You can balance it out by doing the opposite direction, your extension-based exercises.
And that's what you guys do?
We do some of that. Yeah. If that's what's needed.
When people come in, do they come in? So is there like a phase? There are phases. What's a customer journey usually for?
Patient journey is typically you give us a call. You
Right.
give us a call. You get on the schedule. You see us for an evaluation. We look at you. We diagnose you with everything that we can find that's wrong with you, and then we set up a plan of care to help you. Usually it's 8 to 12 visits to get you through your physical therapy. You're coming in. You're there for about an hour long. Hands-on, we're working with you for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then you're doing about 20, 30 minutes of corrective exercises. Physical therapy gets a bad rep that it's just all exercise-based and it hurts. Well, it doesn't have to hurt. You can treat people very well without any pain at all. And so that's what we try to do. We try to keep things as little pain as possible. But yeah, we're trying to basically build you back up so that you can tolerate the things that you were doing before you got injured.
So you guys are talking about preventative stuff, but you're mainly
You're mainly, people go away from the negative. So they're not going to come into physical therapy as much unless they have a problem.
Who's y'all's referral partner?
Up on the North Shore, we don't have any ideal, like, individual referral partners. We talk to a lot of the doctors up on the North Shore, get a lot of patients from a lot of them, but then word of mouth, get a lot of word of mouth patients.
How about like personal injury attorneys?
Some, not a ton of personal injury, just because I haven't reached out to a lot of the personal injury attorneys up there, but I would love to.
How about chiropractors?
Some. Mm-hmm.
Some send.
Yeah. Some send to us. I've sent some to chiropractics if that's what they need. Yeah. I'm not opposed to them going there. If that's what they need and that's what they want, do it. Try it. Love it if it makes you feel better.
What's the threshold for opening up the next location?
I need my location that I'm in right now to be stable, and I have to be out of it. So I can't be the primary care or the primary therapist working in this location when I go to open up my next location. So unless I purchase a location.
Yeah. Guess what I did 2 days ago.
Did you buy
it's pretty big. It's pretty big.
What'd you do?
So I have a band. We have a corporate band called That Band, and we do weddings and corporate events. And I've been the lead singer since 2014.
Okay.
Right? 2 days ago, I was told to step down, which is fine.
Lead singer.
Which is fine. Like, well, not to step down as not to quit the job, but to step down and not be first call.
Okay.
Because, I just sometimes don't have the time. And like what happens is like if I'll go, hey, I need to sub myself out, and I'm only giving them like a week or two to do it. Right. So I was like,
because you only have a finite amount of time. And so you can't pour 100% into your band, I can't pour 100% into growing the practice if I'm in the practice at all times.
Yeah, but it's crazy that I'm at this point now because I'm like, I can't believe I'm not the lead singer.
Right.
That's a crazy.
It's hard.
It's hard, right? It's like a piece of me is like, I'm grateful that like we've built the business and it's sustainable and we're growing and franchising and all of that. But it's like, but me not being the figurehead is sad.
Yeah. It can only get as big as you.
Yeah, and that's true.
You are the one that's saying, nope, I have to be that lead person.
Yeah, and you don't.
And I'm one person. I can only treat a handful of people a day.
Yeah, it was crazy the first time I had to, because I had booked a movie and I couldn't make a gig, and I had to find a substitute for me, and they were fine. Yeah, the gig went well. It wasn't the end, and I was just like, man. At that point, I realized, it doesn't have to always be me, and I think that, if you guys are struggling, in your one-man operations and you feel like it has to be you, it doesn't.
It doesn't have to.
It does not have to be you. There are people out there.
The world goes on without you.
It really does. And I think that, ego and pride, man, it just such a that holds people back more than I think I would venture to say that it's probably as equal to failure, the fear of failure, as is the ego putting into play of how important we are to an organization.
Correct.
It's crazy.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think ego and pride is the downfall of a lot of things. Marriages, business, relationships, friendships. Like, ego gets in the way, and then it's like you can't, your ego won't allow you to step down and eat humble pie.
Exactly. From patient care standpoint, I had to be the one that was treating every single patient. It's like, no, I've got a great staff, a phenomenal team of therapists that they do a great job.
Yeah.
And I hear great outcomes coming from their patients. It's like, excellent, good, that's what I want.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a part of it.
But I
was.
But you were a part of it. Yeah. Hopefully you built your people up and you put the process and procedures in place. But
that's it.
Yeah, it was just crazy to, that 2 days ago they were all like, hey, Armando,
it's time.
You should probably step down.
It's time.
And I'm like,
I don't want to.
But I do want to. But because the thing is, I love singing.
Okay, so when they asked you to do that, was it freeing for you?
Yes. Yes, it was. Immediately I was like, it doesn't have to be me.
Right. Because you probably didn't want to tell them, should I step down?
Yeah.
You waited for them to bring it to you.
They did. And it was
So it's
like,
freeing.
it was absolutely freeing.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And the thing is, I can still sing when I want.
Right.
Like I can still sing if I wanted to.
Hey guys, I want to do this gig.
Yeah. If I want
Right.
to, I can do it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yes, it was great. It was just,
Yep.
it was bittersweet. Right. And isn't life like that?
Yep.
There's just
Absolutely.
bittersweet moments. It's just like,
Yep.
hey, this is amazing. But guess what? You're also giving up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your ego.
Right.
And it's probably more ego than anything.
Right.
For me, it's probably like
Right.
90% of that whole thing is that my ego is bruised that I am no longer
Right.
the lead singer.
Right. But that 5% is going to be the most freeing thing. It opens you up to spend more time with your family. It opens
100%.
you up to spend more time working, doing more podcasts.
Yeah.
Yes.
And doing, and then being
That's
able
your-
to sing. And when I do sing, it's going to be like, oh, wow, it's not the grind. It's a treat,
Correct.
which
Yep.
is great.
So now you're
so-
enjoying it a whole lot more.
Yeah. Which is why I love that. So who are some ideal patients that come and see you?
So our ideal patient is probably about a 50-year-old woman.
My mom.
Wife, kids. Yeah.
Well,
Because
she's 60
Right.
something, but
from a business standpoint, she's going to come in. We're going to help her. Her husband's probably got some issues. We're going to help him. She's going to send her husband in. Probably have to sign him up for him, which is
Sure.
typically what we see happening. Her kids are going to come in because they're going to be playing sports. They're going to injure themselves playing sports. Mom's going to sign them up because they're not going to do it themselves. And then they've also got parents that are getting older, and she's afraid that they're going to fall and have some balance issues. So she's going to sign them up too. So that would be our ideal patient. Is that-
That's cool.
that 50-year-old mom. that
which
we
is
just
why you're
wanna
saying
help
on
out.
Facebook groups, the mom
Yep.
groups.
The mom groups. We're all over the mom groups.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Yep.
Billy, look into this camera over here and tell them where they can find you.
So you can find me. We are on the North Shore, Highway 22, next to Franco's Athletic Club, Llama's Seafood. You can find me online, cptnola.com. You can find us on Facebook at cptnola, Comprehensive Physical Therapy. And then you can find us on Instagram at cptnola, cptnola. So
Fantastic.
Give us a call. Give me a call, 985-272-1017.
Billy, it's been a pleasure. Thank you
This
so
was fun.
much for being on the
Absolutely.
show.
My pleasure.
And that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Spaghetti on the Wall, brought to you by Leduc Entertainment for all your digital marketing needs, social media. Thank you. Yeah. Podcasts, videos, anything you need. And you can always watch Spaghetti on the Wall anywhere where you can find a podcast. And we'll see y'all next week.